Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where everybody is in the world today. I'm, of course, Stefan Hoffman, and I'm here with my beautiful co host, Laura Brennan Belay. And I
Hello.
can tell you now, actually, first, before we get into it, Laura, how are you?
I'm fine. We're fabulous, actually. We were just talking about the sheer exhaustion of life, but also the thrill and the excitement of creation. So I am choosing to pull on that creative energy and rev up this mind body connection today for the podcast.
Absolutely. Isn't it just incredible how exhilarating it can be to have the amount of fun that we have in our daily life?
Yeah. Yeah. And
But it's
finding
at the
that
same time,
balance.
it's exhausting.
Yeah. And sometimes people will ask, like, can it really be all of that all the time? And of course, no. We've shared this with our community. You get frustrated, you get deflated, sometimes maybe some insecurity, or you're not sure, am I doing the right thing in the right way? All of that part of the human condition. But because we study the neuroenergy and we tap into all this beautiful ancient wisdom, we're always reminding ourselves that we're in the power seat of choice. And you can look at all of it how you choose to. And
Yes.
what a beautiful life that we get to connect, we get to travel, we get to share experiences, and we
Mhm.
get to remind our community that energy is a chosen field, a chosen state of being. So, here today, we were just talking about we've been traveling, we're working, we're creating all at the same time. And sure, you could just say, I'm not doing something today. I'm just going to give into the exhaustion. I just want to go to sleep, whatever it is. And no, you just turn it all around and just find the gratitude in it and how fun. You
Absolutely.
just get to live life.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Which brings us to the topic, which of course our audience will know um, from the title of this podcast, engineering your flawless life, right?
Yeah.
Which is something that Laura and myself continue to do because it's not a put together a roadmap or a plan and it just falls into place. It's something that is an ongoing thing, right? Because as you achieve more, you realize there's more to achieve, there's more you can do. So, engineering your flawless life is an ongoing procedure. But the one thing that we know needs to happen in order to get there is you have to get rid of the fear. You have to let that go, right? Ditch it. It's not serving you. Guilt and fear are two incredibly useless emotions.
Yeah.
And instead, bring the fun.
Yeah.
And something that is just absolutely incredible. Because Laura, you were actually talking about this the other day when we were talking about my friend's young child.
Yeah.
It's so amazing to watch children play. There is no sense of I can't do this or I there's a chance I might fail. They just put their heart and soul into this with such focus and determination whilst laughing their little heads off, right? You
Yeah.
know, it's incredible. I mean, so one of the things that he loves to do is he'll get up and we'll be sitting outside having a cup of coffee, and he'll go, "I'm going to Zoom," and we're like, "What's Zoom?" And he goes, "Watch! I'm gonna zoom. I'm gonna run faster than Sonic the Hedgehog."
Yeah.
And he runs, and you can see like his face and the concentration in his whole body, and I mean, it's literally like slowpoke, but in his mind, he is Speedy Gonzalez. He's outrun everybody on the planet, and I just thought that's how we should approach life, right? That
And that's
level of
so ironic that you're bringing this up. The other night in my dream state, I was like, I miss running. I move very fast, but I don't run anymore, like run on the beach. I power
mm,
walk, and I was like running, that beautiful freedom of running. So that's for me a universal message. So whether it's today or tomorrow,
beautiful.
I'm going to attempt to run a little bit, like when you were a kid.
I think I'm actually gonna do the same. I'm gonna go to the
Yes,
beach tomorrow, and I'm gonna run.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think everybody, I'm going to challenge everyone that's going to hear this. When you do hear this, take a moment and run. Now, please, of course, make sure that you can run. Don't sprain an ankle. Don't fall. If you have any
Yeah.
present day injuries, do not run.
Hmm.
But if you are healthy and you already light jog and you do yoga and you're at the gym and you know you're healthy, and not run on a treadmill. This is not
No.
running inside. Find a place in the woods, on the beach, on the grass, and just for a moment run. It reminds you of that playfulness, that freedom, that
Yes.
I can do this. I have the strength. I've
Because
got
I was
the
just gonna say, I mean,
energy.
I hate jogging. I
Yeah.
detest it. I can't. I hate it.
Yeah,
It
I'm not a
doesn't work for
jogger.
me mentally. It's just it's a hard no from me.
Yeah.
But a run, like where you're just running for the sheer exhilaration. There's no end goal. There's not, I have to reach that point. You're just running
Yes.
to let your body move and feel free.
Yes.
That's
I
incredible.
actually did this yesterday. My mom takes care of this beautiful little girl. She's actually taken care of the three sisters for their whole lives. One's in college now. And we call her baby, and she's just beautiful. And we were walking around the pool, and I had her do all these. We marched, we skipped, we walked backwards. We did all these really cool childhood movements. And I was like, the playfulness that we forget in our daily life. And I understand there's a lot of
Mhm.
responsibilities as business owners, entrepreneurial engineers, as parents, as caretakers. We have bills. So this isn't to say throw all that out the window and become childlike 24/7, but find a way to tap into that energy. Go to a
Mm.
playground, go to a park, take a walk in that environment, and just on the peripheral, watch and observe the playfulness of children, not the parents watching the children, the actual children. My mom has a beautiful swing by the pool, and just to sit and swing made me think of all the times you would hop on a swing and just feel the wind and how high you could go. And you weren't even afraid, even though if your tummy got that little flip, like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to swing too high, you still went for it because you're like,
Yes.
got it. And so try to tap into that remembrance of what that freedom of limitless thinking felt like, because it will bring a moment of fun in that experience and then build momentum on that. And Stefan and I are always talking about this, finding a way to incorporate the energetic movement of fun in our mind and our
Mm.
bodies and our creation. It's so important, I think, with the way the world is now. So let's figure out as a community how to reinstate, rewire,
Yes.
right, the connectivity of fun for one another.
Because I mean, this is essentially what we're going to be talking about today. Because yes, there are things that we have to do. There are responsibilities that we have as humans, right?
Mhm.
That is part of the human condition. But we also realize that those responsibilities do not have to overrule the inherent enjoyment of the flow.
No.
And what so often happens is when we have these responsibilities, we attach that feeling of needing to do something, having to do something to the actual flow itself, right? So, yes, you have to pay your bills, you have to pay your rent, your mortgage, your electricity, your gas, right? That has to happen. But that's what the end goal is, right? The vehicle that gets us there does not have to have those needs and have tos attached to it. There
Or the
is a way
energy.
to recalibrate.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, or the energy again, like, I love this. Abraham Hicks talks about getting into the vehicle. So use that as a metaphor. So, right now, when you were just saying, like paying the mortgage and all of that adult responsibility, me, I'd get in some badass Hummer, big wheels, shiny rims.
Right.
I would get in that vehicle to pay that bill. Now, let's say, maybe you're going to the hairdresser and the grocery store, or you're going out shopping for a moment. Maybe then you'd get in a cool Corvette, whatever. Have fun with the energy connection. think about the attitude of when you get in your present real vehicle and think and feel differently about it. It's not that you don't appreciate and have gratitude for what you have. It's learning how to take what you have and recalibrate it into fun, into a game,
There it
redesigning,
is.
re-engineering the attitude and the connectivity of what you're doing. So it doesn't become another part of a list. It's not this
Sure.
arduous chore. It
Yes,
is, this is cool.
exactly. And you were saying something beautiful when we were building this episode out. It comes down to mere moments in your day
Yeah.
where you can choose to rewire your brain, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Choose to rewire how you think about things, right? So if you have, and I'll speak very briefly about a client that I had many years ago. And when she came to me, it was specifically because she wanted to design her ideal life, right? So we sat and I go, okay, so what do you currently do for a living? How's that going for you? What do you want to do instead? And she goes, oh, I have no idea. No idea what I want. I just know that this is not it.
Right.
So I said, okay, great. And we did the exercise, which our audience will have heard of before, where I say, okay, close your eyes, imagine that you're waking up. And then as you go through the exercise in your mind, you're seeing the bedding that is on your bed. You're seeing the view out your window. What kind of view is that? Is it a forest scene? Is it a beach scene? Is it a cityscape? Are you in an apartment? Are you on a farm? Are you in a home? You know, what does that look like and feel like? What does your bathroom look like? And then walking through the morning, and it's so interesting that as you get into that flow state in
Yeah.
your mind, by the time I go, now, are you making tea or coffee? I'm making tea or I'm making coffee. Great. Your tablet is lying on the countertop, and you're going to now choose to read some emails or to get ready for your morning meeting with your staff. What kind of meeting are you having?
Yeah.
Is it a staff meeting? Is it a client meeting? Is it one on one? Is it a service based business? And invariably, the person will say exactly what it is that they actually want to be doing.
Yeah.
And in this particular instance, it was she is a world renowned author and she does public speaking. And when she came back out of the exercise, she goes, I had no idea that I wanted to be a writer and a speaker. And I said, right, so how do we get there? And then, of course, that instant fear came in,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I can't do that because I have to. I said, no, stop. You don't have to do anything. Okay. You have bills, you have responsibilities. Can you take a moment, actually, I said, can you take 3 moments every day? Once when you wake up, round about lunchtime, and just before you go to bed, to express a little gratitude for what you have and express gratitude to yourself for the amazingness that you've created.
Right.
And then take just one last moment in that to say what you're choosing to do either that day or the next day towards your goal. It doesn't have to be huge. It can literally just be, in this particular instance, researching how to publish a book.
Right.
That's it. It's a step in the right direction. It could be researching to find an agent for a public speaker to figure out what you should be speaking about.
Right. And finding the joy and the
Yes.
fun. If we gave adults, I'm just going to say paper and crayons and said, have a ball and just start to draw and have fun. Tap into that creative, childlike innocence where everything is available. You really would see
That's
where so many people are stuck and they'd be like, I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to waste my time. And this is why we do what we do, because it's exactly these practices that may seem to some people a bit mundane or even awkward, but you can start to see with clients like where that energy is really backed
mm,
up. And it's so important to just remind yourself that we all have that in us. We haven't lost that childlike exploration in knowing that it's all possible. Tap it back into that and look at your next several days to build up that momentum. Look at it through the eyes of the lens of fun. Like, we're challenging you. You
Absolutely.
cannot not have fun for like the next week. Everything has to be fun. Cleaning the house, grocery shopping, getting ready for work, interacting with your partners, your families, your work environment. You are a fun machine. You have no any energy other than fun. I'm fun. And people are going to be like,
Exactly.
are you drinking? Are you on some kind of cool new mushroom? Like, what are you doing? Just having fun. And watch the
Exactly.
way you feel and how you've let yourself forget that and now hold on to it and ask people, do you want to have fun with me? Let's go have a fun lunch. Let's create this meeting differently. Let's all enjoy it.
I had a mentor many, many, many years ago. Um, was actually, I think, my first, I'll say, real job, right? And he would drop these little truth bombs in a very typically British sarcastic way.
Mhm.
And it would drive me insane because I felt like he was making fun of me.
Right.
Because he'd say things like, "Oh, you realize that because you are too scared to do what you want to do, I will control you forever."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "What do you mean by that?" He says, "Well, do you want to be sat behind your desk from 9 to 5 every single day doing what I tell you to do, where you have no say in what your day looks like?
Mm.
Or would you rather be doing what you want to be doing?" And I go, "Well, I want to do what I want to do, but I have to, again, to pay my bills, I have to do this, I have no time, I don't have that, I don't have that." And he goes, "Why don't you just do it? What's
Yeah.
stopping you?" And I said, "Well, did you not hear me? I have to pay my rent, I have to pay my food, I have to pay this." He goes, "Okay, so you're not going to start your own business that you really want to start because you're worried that you're not going to be able to pay your bills." Yes. He goes, "Okay, so what's the worst thing that could happen?" And I go, "Well, I could go bankrupt. I could lose everything." And he goes, "Well, Stefan, let's be honest. You don't have much, so there's not much to lose.
Right.
You're 21 years old,
Right.
so how is that a problem?" And then he said to me, "Do you play video games at all?" He's an avid gamer. He's in his 70s now, but he's still
Wow.
every brand new PlayStation and Xbox that comes out, he has to have it, and he plays for like 2 to 3 hours a day
Wow.
with his PlayStation. Well, actually, no, I think he stopped now because he's into drones. So he plays with his drones, and he says this is when he gets his best thinking done, was when he's
Yeah.
playing, because suddenly ideas will just come to him. But anyway, he says, "What happens if you fail in a game, if you die in a game?" I go, "Well, you respawn. You go to the beginning of the level, and you have to start over." He goes, "Right. So does that scare you in the game?" I go, "Well, no, because if it gets to a point where I can't get past it and I die, I just go back to the beginning. But now I can try something new. So I'll go back and get to that same point. So I'll try a different angle, and eventually I'll get past it and get to the next obstacle that I can't pass, and then start the level over. But now I've gotten further, so I know how to get past that, and
Right.
so on and so forth. And eventually I'll finish the level, and I'm stronger and I'm better and all the rest of it." He
Such is
goes,
life.
"Exactly." He goes, "You've just described life."
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
says, "You're not going to get every level right the first time.
Mhm.
It's impossible. But
And
now you know what not to do, so you can try something new and just start again and
I
start
and
again."
and I think though what happens, because as you're expressing this, and I know a lot of the community is going to hear this and be like, but a game is a game. Our minds are wired to look at reality and a game very differently. But let me remind all of us grasshoppers that it's the thought and the feeling that we
Mhm.
apply into the experience that shifts the outcomes and the way that we move through these lessons of life, these levels of life. So, yes, reality will tell you playing a game, if I can't get to that level, I can put the game down, come back, tackle again. But the reason why so many of us, let's just say, are addicted to all of this outside stimuli is because it is part of the brain that is being activated into what could be possible. So use that again into your daily life. Life is not a game in that way, but it is lessons
It is.
learned,
Yeah.
mistakes recalibrated. You don't want to do the same repeat of things that you know cause you, like, sadness or all of that. I think, again, remind yourself that if you choose to have fun, if you choose to enjoy the process, you will enjoy it. If you choose to let it be a monkey on your back, you're going to feel the weight of it, and you're going to get depressed. You're going to get, lonely, isolated, whatever the feelings are that we're going to go through. And that's what you're going to experience. This isn't necessarily about thinking your way through something. It is about connecting thought and feeling to produce an experience that will actually gain momentum, that will bring you a joyful life, that will bring you a life that is fun, not without challenges, but fun.
Absolutely. And I want to just remind everybody that it's a journey. Life is a journey. It's constantly evolving, it's constantly reshaping itself. What we have to do is allow ourselves to accept the time that it is going to take for our vision to manifest and become reality. And in allowing ourselves that time, we really need to enjoy the journey, enjoy the flow. And for me personally, as things have progressed over the last sort of year or two in my life, and I've started to really apply the principles that I've known for years and years and years, when I started out with affirmations and putting the work in and all the rest of it, I would see babkas, nada, nothing. There's, I would say, I'm gonna, I want to be wealthy. I'm gonna do this. I am this. I am that. And I sit back and nothing happens. And I go, okay, just keep doing it anyway, because you know what? Just enjoy it, be grateful, and enjoy it, and have fun with it. It's gotten to the point now, Laura, where I will literally have an idea and I'll go, I want to make that a reality. And I'll either pick up my phone and Google it, or I will turn on the TV, and the first thing that will pop up will be the solution
Yeah.
to create whatever it is that I had this idea on. Just as if it's, well, it is magical. It's like the same kid I was talking about. For him, everything is magic. So
Yeah.
mommy has magic, Stefan has magic, his
Because we
grandmother has
do.
magic, and
And we
exactly.
are.
And then eventually he goes, so we said, yes, we've all got magic. And he says, and he, in his 6-year-old brain, he's sitting there, he's very analytical and very logical. And he goes, but magic isn't real.
Yeah.
So we said, of course it's real. What is magic?
Right.
And he goes, card tricks. We said, no, that's not magic. That's stage magic. That's not real magic.
Right.
Real magic is deciding that you want something and making it happen. That is magic. What could be more magical than taking a thought, which is an electrical neural impulse,
Yes.
and making it into a physical thing that exists in your life?
And this is what people, I'm not saying we as a collective forget, but again, this is, and and our community knows, this is why I wrote The Science of Empowerment. This is why we talk about neuroenergy. This is why we do the Shift and Co. for that exact reason. As you are creating and you're building and you're waiting for that manifestation, that's that sweet spot that most of us get tripped up in, because
Yes.
well, I'm doing the right things, I'm thinking the right way, why isn't this happening? Because the energy that you're feeling around that waiting expectation is where the universe is saying, no, I'm catching the frequency of, you're being impatient, you're hurrying it up, you're expecting it. Not that any of that's bad, but for those of us that don't really understand quantum fields, this gets a little tricky, because we're like, well, if I'm thinking positively and I'm taking all the right steps, why is it not actually manifesting fast? A couple of reasons, because deep down, if we spent time, right, and we do with clients, you realize they're not feeling it. They're
Yes.
anxious. They're nervous. They're doubting it. They're almost have an insecurity like, well, I think I can, but I'm not really quite sure if I'm the one that's going to create that or whatever that thought is. This is where the Shift and Co. and all the coaching that we do comes into beautiful play.
Oh,
This
yes.
is where we start to work those neuroenergy tiers, literally steps, not tears, but
Yeah.
steps. Well, sometimes some tears too, but that's okay. We release that. This
Tears
is
of love and happiness and joy.
yes, and reminding our community and here with these podcasts that we do is so that when you go through your day, you can say, okay, I'd like to manifest a new job, a new partnership, a new body, a new way of being, and all the simplistic steps behind that. But I understand that energetically, I'm sending out a current or a vibe or a frequency that doesn't quite match the thought. This is where the magic comes in of wisdom, of education, of building this internal living library. Keep listening, keep reading, keep expanding that interplay. Have fun
Mhm.
with, I want that. I know I'm feeling a bit not quite worthy or prepared or ready for it, but I am going to keep my eye on the ball, my eye on the prize, and I'm going to keep working this energy in me until I am so confident, so secure, so worthy of what I know I'm deserving, so that when I do have that thought, I can create and manifest it faster and faster with each passing day.
It's so beautiful that you brought that up and also brought up Abraham Hicks because I saw one of their shorts recently.
Mhm.
And it's something that I didn't realize I was applying, but when I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm actually going to do this more regularly, not consistently.
Yeah, consistent.
Because they were saying that as humans, we underestimate how powerful our thoughts are.
Mm.
And the first thing that goes, but Esther, if our thoughts are so powerful, why do I not just get what I want? Well, because when you have a thought that I want that business or I want that job or I want that lifestyle, the very next thought that goes with it is but,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So now you've got two opposing energies and they cancel each other out.
Right.
So what I've started doing is whenever I have a thought of, oh, I want the business to do this, and I go, ugh, which isn't even a thought, it's just a feeling. It's just a, ugh, but that's going to, if I have to put it into words, that's going to be difficult, or I don't have the right tools, or I don't have enough money to get there, but whatever the case may be. So what I've started to do is the moment I have that, I go, stop, and I say it out loud to myself, stop. I reject that thought of whatever the feeling is, anxiety, fear, blah, blah, whatever that is, right? I reject that. I accept the thought that I want this and I am going to achieve it in
Yeah.
a very short space of time.
Mm.
I noticed within 2 weeks, the frequency of me having those negative opposing thoughts dropped.
Yeah.
It literally, instead of happening every single time, it would only happen 1 in 5 times.
Right.
It's now gotten to the point where it's 1 in 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just amazing that literally my soul is rewiring my brain because
Yeah.
that's the other thing. We tend to identify with thoughts as part of us. They're not. They
No.
are part of a societal algorithm, a program that we are running,
Yeah.
which means that if it's something is programmed, it can be reprogrammed.
And don't even think, like, again, for all the people that are listening, and if you use quantum physics and neuroenergy and algorithms, just understand that we are all influenced every day,
Yes.
subconsciously, whether you realize it or not. So this is what's happening. We may have big dreams and goals and be excited, but then there's all this other language that has been right inputted input into the database, which is our mind
Mm-hmm.
brain matrix, and it settles in, and then we think I can do it, and then there's that back voice. No, you can't. You've got this and this to take care of. Who do you think you are that you can become? So again, I'm going to remind everybody, it is our birthright to tap in to the genius, beautiful state of a limitless mind. We are creative, energetic beings. You can look at it in a religious format. You can look at it in a spiritual format. You can just look at it through the lens of the human condition. Do not let a thought be a detriment to you experiencing a magical life. You can produce, engineer, design, dream, construct, build anything you want. You really can. And if you question that, I want you to look at the people in the world that have done that. Now you may think, oh, well, I'm not a Steve Jobs, or I am not, an Elon Musk, or I'm not a president of the United States, or I don't know how to cure cancer. I get all that. That may not be your pathway of genius and your pathway of brilliance, but you have something.
Yes.
And tap into that and get excited. I don't care if you're 8, 18, 38, 58, 88. Do not let this lifetime pass you by without tapping in and knowing it's never too late. It's never too soon. And allow yourself to really just say, you know what? When I think something, now I'm going to start becoming observant. Tap into, right? First principle of the J3 = awareness. There is a voice back there telling me, no, you just have to stay where you are. No, you don't have what it takes. I want you to take that voice and I want you to just absolutely recalibrate that thought.
Yeah.
Okay, see you, hear you. I'm going to put you over there for now, and I'm going to carry on as if it doesn't matter. You've
Yeah.
got to find a way to tap into your power. You have it. It's
So
in you.
I
Tap-
will, because I can already hear the audience going, okay, but how do I do that? Like, what do I actually do?
Yeah.
And I'm going to give everybody one simple exercise that you can do. It's not even going to take you 5 minutes every morning and every evening. Okay. And I can guarantee you that if you do this for 90 days, you will be shocked at how quickly your life changes. And I don't even need to give you the next steps because your own genius will kick in and will tell you what the next steps are, which is the best part of this. Take 5 minutes when you wake up before you roll out of bed. So if you're like me, where I hit snooze at least once or twice in the morning, I actually set my clock earlier than I need to get up
Yeah.
so that I can have the ability to snooze. And I do. I lie there, and what I will do is I will just go, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? 10 things. And I always say to people, make it small things.
Yeah.
Don't make it huge things. Don't try and think of, oh, I'm grateful for, the house I live in, or no. Be grateful that you woke up, be grateful that you woke up.
Yeah. Healthy.
Yeah. Be grateful that it's another day that you get to enjoy, right? Again, we're starting to rewire the brain.
Yeah.
I get to enjoy today.
Yeah.
Today is not going to be a chore. Today is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Even if you've got that quarterly meeting that you absolutely abhor and you know it could have been an email, what if you know it's going to be a bit of a bore, what can you do to make it fun?
Yeah.
Can you skip into the boardroom instead of your normal walk?
Oh,
Can you ask your coworker if you can bring them coffee and sit next to them and just nudge them every time something funny happens? How can you make it fun? There are 1,000 ways, right? So take that time to be grateful for little things in life, right? And then after you've done the 10 things, take a couple of moments to think about what you want, your personal vision.
yeah.
Doesn't have to be what steps you're going to be taking. It can just literally be, I really want to start my own business so that I can get that hut on the beach in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Love that hut.
And
It's
then
so
let
great.
that be, right?
Yeah,
Just let that
let it
be.
be.
Just let it be.
Just you're grateful for where you are, you know where you want to go, and move on with your life. Allow your subconscious to do the heavy lifting. You don't have to figure out how you're going to get there. Your brain is incredibly powerful. It
Yeah.
just needs the right programming. And if you're putting that programming in, it'll spit out the most incredible designs for you and your life.
And I just thought of something. So, two quick things to that for all the corporate listeners out there. When you go into that meeting, start that meeting or ask maybe your leadership, if you may, where everyone shares one moment of gratitude or one positive or exciting or fun thought that could actually recalibrate that meeting. Start to be a change maker and a leadership of positive influence in your environment at work. Bring some ideas that will refresh, right? Recreate in there.
Yes.
That's a side note for something for you and I'm just thinking of. And then
Oh,
I'm also going to remind everyone, run through the J3 equals E. So whether you're lying in bed, whether you're having a moment of frustration, whether you're journaling, you're walking and you're thinking, not me. Now I want you to go into awareness. Okay. Why not me? What am I willing to do about that thought? Change it, shift it, recalibrate it, right? Accountability. It's me. It's on me. How I think, how I feel, how I design my life is on me. Let me
absolutely.
become this phenomenal architect. Let me have fun. There is no limit right now. It is your mind. It creates worlds. I love how Abraham Hicks says that. Do you all notice we do not ship in any resources from outside off planet? Where do they come from, people? They come from the mind and the
Yeah.
design of thought, and it's
Yeah.
manifested. I want you to
Amazing.
remember that. Now I want you to go into the fourth principle, critical thinking. I want you to take that emotionality out of the doubt, the insecurity, the sadness. Oh, it's not my destiny. Take it out. I want you to think with strong, positive, intelligent thinking. Why not me? It can be me. Now I want you to move into fifth principle, energy. Negative, positive, neutral. Always remind yourself you are in the power seat of choice. I choose neutral to positive today. I choose it. Regardless of my
Yep.
circumstances, in my mind, I choose neutral to just, which is for me a lot of gratitude work. Gratitude just
Yes.
neutralizes all doubt. Now get excited again. I am a child of the stars. I am a child of God. I am a child of universal possibility. Wherever your mind takes you, you have that energy to tap in and create all that you want to. Stop doubting, begin creating.
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately, because I still had two more segments that I wanted us to go over, but I just saw the time. I'm like, we've been chatting because I knew that we were going to have so much fun with this
I
topic,
know.
though, that it was just going to go absolutely berserk, bonkers. But yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to start wrapping up. And I just realized because we have to do our tarot reading for the
Yep. Are
next
they over
week.
there?
They're are they over here, over there? I did a reading for someone last night. I think that's why. I'll be
That's
right back.
Go ahead. I'll say hello to everybody
Okay.
and just remind you to please listen, share these podcasts, connect with us, email us, put in a thought into the comment. Let us know where you maybe feel stuck. This is the beauty of the Science of Empowerment. This is the beauty of the Shift and Co. Steph and I have an amazing coaching program that we will be rolling out. We're getting ready to take on new clientele. This is what we do. This is how we live. We don't take someone else's information and then give it to you and try to fit into it. We actually have taken a few years to create not only this podcast, but our coaching program to
Mm,
actually shift your life, transform your life into what we do. We walk the talk, we talk the walk.
there we go.
We do.
Absolutely.
We live what
Absolutely.
we teach because we also want to keep learning and growing and exploring. So we are applying all of what we talk about into this community, into our clients, into their experiences because we authentically are living it. We experiment with it before we talk about it. So we know that we can say with our full heart and soul engaged that we are living this life and we know it what it feels like. It is.
That is actually so perfect for this reading.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So the reading seems to indicate that right now we might be feeling a little bit defeated in certain ways and aspects in our life, but the actuality is completely the opposite.
Mm.
It's time to blow our trumpets because victory
Woo!
is here. It's so beautiful. It's this feeling and sense of, you might feel like it's taken forever. You might feel like whatever you've been wanting is just not happening the way you want to. But the universe is saying, I give you full permission to wag your own tail. You deserve it. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I love it. Well, as always, right?
Mhm.
I pull a quote in the morning
Yes.
when I do my gratitude work. And today, to be transparent, it was a very hectic morning already. I took a moment. I said my prayer work, my gratitude work. I was super excited that my beautiful friend and I get to connect and enjoy
Amazing.
our friendship, our union, and then we get to share it with this community that we're building. So I
Mm.
always pull up a quote, and it always aligns magically. So today, the quote from the Science of Empowerment is: tap into that part of your nature that knows differently than what is at face value.
Oh,
Yeah. So tap into that part of your nature that is who you are, the very essence of who you are, that knows differently than what is at face value. So again, circumstances, environment, condition, yes, but what's in here and what's in here, and the ability that you have to create, re-engineer, redesign your present condition to really make it something, oh, so worthy of all your beauty and all your magic, that is in you.
Laura, beautiful as always. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, we really do hope and wish you a beautiful week ahead when you're watching this podcast and wherever you are in the world. As always, please do remember to like and subscribe. The links to purchase Laura's book or book a coaching session with us is in the description below. And if you found anything in this podcast to be extremely useful for your outlook in life, please do share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Let's get more people into this wonderful shift that we are creating, because shift happens and we
Yeah.
want it to happen more regularly.
Shift happens. Bye.
Bye, everybody.